question it's a long question, from Mary Jane Keitel. Where are you, Mary Jane?
Here she is.
All right. Bear with me. From the Field Museum. Two fine orchestras, the Minnesota Orchestra and the St. Paul Chamber Orchestra, have been locked out by their management. Now is the time for you to go, ooh. Yeah. Good. Since October, what can other cities learn from the CSO about how to manage to maintain artistic quality and financial responsibility? 25 words or less, please.
Yeah. We are very fortunate here in Chicago to be living in a place that has a history of supporting all the arts. Field Museum, all of the campus, all of the small theaters, the big theaters, opera, and we have been doing, this wonderful community have been doing this for, in our case, more than 122 years. And I think that really great board leadership is really critical. And bringing the board really close to the art is really critical. For having been in this field for 35 years, I can tell you that it used to be that the Minnesota Orchestra was really known for being one of the best managed and one of the most vibrant communities, which is not to say that they have a bad manager there now, but I think that if you don't keep the board and the musicians and your community close to one another and talk to one another about one's issues, you can really run astray, and you have different priorities. You cannot really evaluate orchestras in the same sort of cost-revenue ratio basis, because you know, somebody's going to say, why do you have 16 first violins? Why can't you do it with 12? And if you ask that question and you're not really open to the answer, then you're going to have an argument about that. And that's the argument they're having, more or less. And the answer, ultimately, for those of you who are curious, is there's a balance, depending on what the repertoire, depending on the piece that you're performing, you need to have a balance of all of the instruments and how they work with one another. The difference between 14 and 16 is a little bit different, and depending on the size of the stage and the size of the auditorium, that's a different issue. But these are issues of art, not finance. And if you try to overlay finance all the time, you will never make a good case in the world of art, because it just doesn't work that way. So I think what's happened in St. Paul and Minnesota, where the orchestras have famously been locked out, which is, as far as I know, never happened before, and especially for this period of time. It's a situation where you've got a lack of communication.
Okay, pretty good answer.
That was not 25 words or less, but
damn good answer. How about a nice round of applause? That's tremendous.